called and said that the machine is not getting cold. So I'm gonna walk you guys through the process of troubleshooting and fixing this old AP Studio combo. And let's get at it. Customer has already turned the machine off. So we're gonna open it up, plug it in, turn it on, and look for what the problem might be. So one of the first things we want to do when we come to a machine that's not getting cold is we do the exterior visual. Is the machine far enough away from the wall? Most vending machines will have like a exhaust for the refrigeration. Typically you're gonna need at least 3 inches from the back for the compressor to be able to breathe. So what that does is allows the hot air to exit the machine from the heat exchanger, aka the condenser. So not ideal, but that should be enough for it to breathe back there. We got about 2 inches. We usually say 4, but 2 is acceptable. So now we're gonna dive into the machine. So now, machine's on, and I have verified we have space in the back, and I can hear the compressors running. So we look down here. This is the condenser. Typically you'll have a machine that has one of these things on it. This is called the condenser. Looks like a radiator on a car. What a lot of times people don't do is clean these things. So this machine sucks air from the bottom. It has a filter right there. We're gonna check that, make sure it's clear, and so it's pretty clean. This guy's doing a great job of keeping that clean. This one seems to be free of stuff too. One of the tricks I've learned over the years is to check the airflow on that, is to grab a dollar bill or some kind of piece of paper. You just take it, hold it in front of that condenser, and it should stick, right? So this one has good flow. It's doing the heat exchange properly and all that stuff. So that's verified, that's verified. We're gonna open the cabinet and see if that fan is running up in there. You have an evaporator in there that runs also, so I'm just feeling and listening, and that seems to be running as well. So the fan's working, the bottom fan's working, the condenser's clean, and the condenser fan's running, the evaporator fan's running. So the next thing we're gonna check is if the compressor is running. So I'm gonna try to carefully pull this machine away from the wall and gain access to the back side of it. Ideally, you would want a dolly or some kind of pallet jack or something to do this, but I don't have one, so we're going to try to do this carefully. Now we've gained access to the back of this thing. We're gonna take this cover off and see what the compressor's doing. Okay, so it feels like the compressor's running, and by the looks of it, someone's put a tap valve on this machine. Normally, this wouldn't be acceptable for me to put this tap valve, but in this case, this machine is nearing 30 years old. There's a very good chance that the machine is going to be low on Freon, and it's going to continue to be low on Freon because these evaporators are no longer available for purchase. If this was a newer machine, I would definitely take and pull this whole unit and put a new evaporator on it, and then recharge the system and go with that. So, but being it's an older machine, we're probably just gonna try to put some gas in it and see, but I can't really tell over the sound of this fan to see if the compressor's running. So thankfully there's this plug here I can undo, and that should probably turn the fan off. So now that we got that fan off, we can tell that that compressor's running. You can hear it. I feel like it's definitely building some heat in it. So I'm gonna say this thing's low on Freon. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab my Freon out of the van and grab my gauges and put that on. I'm gonna plug this fan back on. There it is. So let me get out to the van, grab that stuff, and we'll be right back. Over here, we've got the Freon back in and the gauges back in. So we're gonna go ahead and hook up to this thing and see what's going on. So this is the Freon inlet right here. This is the low side gauge. We're gonna hook up to that, but what I want to do first is bleed the air out of the hoses. Just do that a couple of times, and now we got just Freon all throughout that hose. What we're gonna do now is take this, hook up to this right here. I'm gonna bleed that one more time so that I'm not introducing any environmental air in there. So I'm gonna open this valve to check and see what our pressure is at. So with the compressor running, we are at a -2 vacuum in the system. So where we're supposed to be is right around 25. So we have just confirmed that this machine is low on Freon. Again, this isn't really an ideal repair for any of the newer machines, but being this thing's old and the parts aren't available anymore, we're just gonna give it some gas. Hopefully he gets a couple more years out of it, and we'll come back here in another 2 years and fill it up again. If it doesn't last that long, then he's gonna have to bring this to my shop, and I'm gonna have to cut on a good evaporator from another machine or something. But now we're gonna start introducing Freon into the system. What you want to do is charge it with the tank facing upside. So we're gonna charge it. We're gonna charge it as a gas. You could also charge these upside down as a liquid, but it's safer to charge as a gas. So we're going to keep going. We're going to periodically stop to see our pressure start going up, and then so that we don't overcharge this system. So if I was doing this repair at my shop, I would be weighing the amount of Freon that I put into this system, but we don't have that luxury right now, because I don't know how much was in the system before I got here. I'm sure there was still some kind of charge in there, but you know, I've been doing this long enough, I can sort of tell by pressures and temperature what it should more or less be at. So we're just going to continue to keep pumping it in and monitoring how much those pressures are going up. So we still got a long way. We're at least now on the positive side of the gauge. So we're just going to keep pumping and keep checking. I'm also looking for some heat coming into this high side tubing right here. And that should start coming on. And I do feel a little bit of heat coming on in here, so the heat exchange is starting to happen. What you're going to feel also as you charge the system is that this cold air that's blowing here is going to start to get hotter as the Freon starts moving its way to the system. That's kind of going to show you if the system is working properly, because sometimes you'll have a clog in the system or something and it won't take Freon. You'll have to pull the unit to replace the line dryer and blow it out. But everything's looking good so far. Now I'm starting to build up heat here in the condensate pan. I'm starting to feel a little bit more heat coming out this way, and my gauge is starting to go up. So now we're on definitely on the higher positive side of things. So just keep going until we get to right around 25 is where I want to be on that gauge, between 25 and 30 even. So now I'm starting to feel a lot more heat coming through this thing, and heat's coming off of that condenser. So we are definitely climbing in the pressure. We started at -2 and now we're almost to 20 psig.
Do you need a cert for this stuff?
Yeah.
What kind? Do you want to talk about that or anything?
Yeah. So this is more or less a job that you kind of got to get certified to do. Most places will not sell you this Freon unless you have a EPA certified certification. I got mine a little over 28 years ago, and what that looks like is this. So that's that EPA card right there.
Hold on a second.
You're gonna need that card to take to any refrigeration supply house if you want to buy compressors, if you want to buy refrigeration unit, refrigerant, all of that stuff. Cannot buy it without that. So we're nearing the full charge now on this thing. This thing's really cranking. You got heat in the high side of things. This is, it's not really a typical repair, but in older machines, these copper lines on the inside, because it stays moist all the time, they kind of tend to deteriorate. They start blowing little pinhole leaks, little micro leaks and stuff like that. So one of the things about having an old machine that you gotta deal with, like on most machines, you're able to still buy the whole evaporator and swap it out, like AMSS, USIs. I'm still able to get those things and swap it out, and your system's good as new, but it's kind of the hassle of owning an old machine. So now we're getting almost to that right pressure. I just need about 4 more psi, and then I'm gonna call this thing good. I shut this down, button it up, and look and see if we're getting cold. But I will document on there to today's visit, so that if I get called back again, I can reference it and make proper advising to the customer if they need this machine to get further work or not. Okay, so now we're at around 25 psig, and I'm gonna let it sit there for a little bit, run it, and see. That should probably slowly go down as that inside cabinet starts to get cold, but it looks like it's holding right there, so I'm good right there. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off, open that up, let it sit there for about a minute so that it'll pull all that Freon from here and just take it out of the line, so I'm not putting it out in the environment. So that's good right there. I'm gonna shut this valve off. I can now unhook this and then put that cover back on. I'm gonna carefully tuck this away back in here so it's not in the way. So now I can feel you got good heat right here. Got good heat coming off that that condenser. I'm gonna put today's date and my initials because I autograph everything with my quality. So today is 5/20. And put what kind of Freon I put in it. That way if I get called back here, I know exactly what date I was here, and that's gonna help me determine if this thing's gonna need like some other major work and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna button this up, get back to the front of it, and see if we're cooling. Okay, now we're all charged up. We're just gonna verify that this thing's getting cold. Right, so when we first got here, the temperature indicated was 73 degrees. Now you can see that we are at 51 degrees and we're dropping. So I would call that a successful job. It's definitely blowing some cold air now, so time will tell to see how long this repair is gonna hold up, but for this customer, he's pretty much done. So if you guys like this video, hit that like, that subscribe, and please drop some comments. And if you guys need some vending machines or vending machine repairs, check out our website at vendingmachineoutlet.com. And hope you guys have a good day. Happy vending.